Hi everybody, it's Sniper69 here and I'm bringing you yet another Bismarck commentary. In this game I'll be focusing less on the qualities of the Bismarck and more about staying relevant as a battleship player. In this game, the enemy team has two Bismarcks, a Dunkirk, a New Mexico and a Bayonne as battleships. They have an Otago, an Atlanta, a Belfast and an Alba as cruisers, and they also have a Z-23, Kagero and a Sims as destroyers, and the Belfast and Sims are in a division. On the other hand, our team has two Bismarcks, a Fuso and a Warspite, and for our cruisers we have a Mogami, a York, a Miyoko, a Burioni, a Graf Spee and a Cleveland, and our destroyers are a Benson and Akizuki. So straight off the bat we have one less battleship and also one less destroyer. We do have a few extra cruisers, but yeah, they don't really hold their weight. Actually, I take it back. We also have a Fuso, but so we have an extra cruiser, whereas they have an extra DD. On top of that, they have two radar cruisers, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, back to the game. So the game started. I'm moving towards D with the rest of my team, and I'm not pushing too far ahead. I'm the first battleship in my line, like on this side. There's a Fuso behind me, and I've got four other cruisers, three of whom are in front of me, and I've got a DD screening on D, which is the ideal position you want to be in a battleship. You don't want your cruisers to be too far ahead. And fortunately they haven't rushed except for this Mogami, who is about to go in and find a nasty surprise, as more than half, well, basically half the enemy fleet is there. So the enemy fleet has, I'm pretty sure, 3 battleships, 2 cruisers and a destroyer, who are going to make pretty short work of this Mogami. I take that back, they've got 2 destroyers. So they've got the Z-23, and I'm pretty sure it is also the Kagero on this side, and yeah, and Mogami has taken quite a bit of damage. He's trying to retreat out, and I'm trying to just nail these battleships as best as I can. I'm trying to use the islands as cover to break possible line of sight from the other enemy battleships. I'm not too sure what other ships they could possibly have here, so it's best not to just go out rushing in. The enemy Bismarck has stopped, or it's kind of stationary. So I take a shot, 15 kilometers away, 16 kilometers away. It's a good distance, and I get a nice salvo. I'm pretty sure. Let's see how much damage I do. I get 11k. Happy with that. The Dunkirk is just outside secondary range. I want to get closer, but I know that he's just going to retreat back and almost bait me in. So I just have to be a bit careful, but I know that if the Dunkirk pushes out a bit more, he'll be in secondary range. I want to help out my DD, so I take a shot at the Kagero. Just waiting for him to turn and show a bit of broadside. And now he starts to turn, his engine's broken. I'm thinking he might smoke up, so I haven't taken a shot yet. He's in secondary range, he's slowing down, and now is when I take a shot. I think I give enough lead, and he's deleted. 4 overpens, and he's dead. So, looking at the scores, we've got 2 caps each. We've killed the Kagero. We've lost our Akizuki on the A cap. I don't know how an Akizuki loses to another DD. You can clearly see that the enemy Sims was last spotted at E3, and Akizuki died at D3. So I don't know how your Akizuki died so quickly. Dunkirk pushes into secondary range. I take a few shots. Pretty sure Dunkirk has 25mm bow armor, so I'm very comfortable at taking a shot on him with my 380mm German AP. So as I push around this island, as I sort of push backwards, I'm keeping this island in the way to reduce the amount of damage I take from the enemy Bismarcks, and I can still take a shot at the Bayonne. I actually keep an eye out on the Kagero, who was last spotted on F9. So he could have easily come around and launched the torp. So that's why I'm turning away. It's quite likely that the Kagura launched torps from a long distance away, like a further distance away to... There he is. Oh, sorry, the Z23. Not the Kagura. Kagura died. The Z23. And it looks like he's launched those torps from 7 kilometers away. So if I turn away and just sail away, I should be able to avoid them. And yes, I have. I also didn't want... If I turned in, I would have put myself in a unfavorable position closer to the enemy. So it was either turn away and possibly eat a torpedo if the range was longer, or turn in, possibly avoid the torpedoes but find myself in a very sticky situation. I'd take a shot at the bay end, get some nice damage. The Z23 is back on D, and there's an Atlanta also on the D cap, which is a big threat to my Benson. My Benson can't cap whilst there is an Atlanta. So hopefully I can try and get some damage on him, get the Atlanta to retreat, and for some reason not for some reason, Benson manages to land some very nice torpedoes, killing the Z23. So now there's only one DD left on the enemy team. It's the Sims, and since my team has kind of covered the gap at D4, it's unlikely that the Sims has gone around our team. And since we're capping A, it's more likely that the Sims is somewhere around a central position between the B and C caps in the middle of the map. Anyway, Dunkirk is in secondary range. The Benson smoke is giving me some good cover. I'm somehow spotted, I guess by a plane, or there's a gap or something, or I don't know, maybe the Sims is at E5, spotting me through the gap. But anyway, Dunkirk's in secondary range. He's eating a few secondaries. I'm still spotted by I'm spotted by a plane. I am showing a bit of broadside, but I'm not too worried. You can see the enemy shots there, probably the Bismarck shots, because I've got the smoke covering me, breaking line of sight, whereas the enemy's Bismarcks are fully spotted. And now that the plane isn't spotting me, I nail a nice 15k on Bismarck, who eats another, I think, 10k damage or something. So that Bismarck is not very happy, whereas I've got 52k HP, 4 heals left, and I've got I can recover about half a heal. So I'll just take a bit more damage before popping that extra heal. So I take another shot at that Bismarck. I didn't shoot at the other Bismarck because he's angled in. I get bounces. I could have just saved the shot, and for some reason the enemy Alba is pushing the 10 line. He's going to come around the island. I don't want to select. I don't want to select him as my target and just wait, because he might have a priority target, and I don't want to spook him out. But I do select him as my secondary target, and I'm waiting for him to push out and kind of pretend that I'm not paying any attention to him, so I can nail him. I get a nice shot of the other Bismarck, and now the Alba is coming around the island. He sees me. I think he realizes that I was here. I think now he realizes that there's a Fuso at D6. As you can see, our other battleships on this side are behind me. I know I'm a German BB and I've got the armor as a tank, but it's not, it's kind of annoying when you have sniping BBs, but the Fuso is playing it well. I delete the Alba, and back to the Fuso in terms of what he's doing. The Fuso is playing it well. He is sitting behind the island at C7, and he's a T6 BB. He's considerably, he's 5 knots slower than both Bismarcks on the enemy team. He can be overmatched by the Bismarcks. He's playing it. I don't want to say he's playing it correctly, but he's playing it safely. He's in a position where he's able to do damage because the enemy ships are spotted, and he's kind of limiting the amount of damage he takes, so he can be relevant later in the game. So the Fuso is by no means is a bad ship. It's a very strong ship, even in a tier 8 game. It's just that at tier 8, enemy battleships are faster, they're better guns, they're more accurate, and they can be a real threat to a Fuso who is spotted like from the next galaxy away. Take a shot of the Bayern, since there's nothing else I can shoot. I'm keeping an island between me and the Bismarck, And looking at the scores, we can clearly see that we're kind of firmly losing at this point in time. We've lost, the enemy team has lost 4 ships, we've lost 7. Make that enemy team has lost 5 with the death of the Dunkirk. And the enemy team has, we both have 2 caps, but they've got more ships. In particular, they have 2 more cruisers. And cruisers in a late game scenario are very strong. When there's less ships around, make that we lose another ship, we lose our Cleveland. Cruisers are very strong in late game. Since there's less ships that are shooting at them, and so they can play a bit more aggressively. They can use their health pool a bit more effectively to bait shots and not get destroyed. So unlike the Megami who charged in at the start, the enemy Otago has managed to bag 3 kills. And he is in a very comfortable position to do more damage. Now I decided to push up a bit. The Bismarck on E10 dies to the Fuso, and the reason why I didn't push up earlier was because I could have potentially been taking damage from 3 sides: from the Atlanta in the center, the Bay in south, and the Bismarck on the east, in the east. But now that the Bismarck is dead, and the Bayon is on fire and running away, I'm not too worried about the Bayon, and I'm gonna push up a bit. And looking at the scores, there's 7 minutes left. It's getting towards the late game. There's about 130 points of difference. So getting a kill here is quite important in terms of swinging the game back into our favor. The enemy team has started capturing B, which means that since they've pushed up from A, you can see from the last known positions that they've pushed up from A, that they're probably going to contest A. Now, this puts me in an awkward position. I want to kill the Atlanta because he's a radar cruiser, but in terms of the awkward position, I can either go back and help my team at B, or I can chase the Bayon, get the kill and secure C cap. Because if I go back to defend at B, we won't be able to immediately take the cap, and they have now a 150 point lead. And if we're just fighting over B, they've got 2 other caps which can outcap us. And if I don't kill the Bayon, he's going to survive. He can possibly just snipe from behind islands. And this is potentially 100. The Bayon is basically worth a 100 point swing, and I'm giving up these 100 points by not killing the Bayon if I decide to go back. So I decide that I need to kill the Bayon, and I need to take the A cap. And if I take the A cap, then it'll be 2 caps each, and balance the points. And as long as we get another kill, as long as you contest the B cap, possibly we can pull it back. I get a nice chunk of damage. I get a second fire. I'm pretty sure the Bayon is dead. So I start turning to try and lob some shells back at the B cap, but then I look at my damage ticker and it stops ticking, and I realize the Bayon has used damage con. So I have to go around the island, and I have to kill this Bayon right now before he pops a heal. Benson manages to kill the Sims, which is very good. Just as I was typing it in, he kills the Sims, and there's a Bismarck on B. He resets the cap, which is good, but then I'm not too sure what he's thinking or what he decides to do, but he's taking damage. And I don't know why he's taking damage. So he's either taking damage because he's still spotted, and I'm not too sure why he's still spotted. Is it because he's shooting? And I couldn't really tell until I zoomed in to try and take a shot of the Bismarck as I came around this island. And when I zoomed in, I was quite surprised, quite shocked to see that the Benson was firing his guns. And I'm not too sure if the Bismarck got into hydro range. It's only 4.4 from the hydro. Take a shot of the Bismarck, and he turns in, and I miss. So good dodging by him. I guess it was a bit hard to shoot over the island. Don't have a scout plane. Fortunately, the Fuso kills the Bismarck, and the points. That's a 100 point swing back in our favor. So I don't know why the Benson died. If it was radar by the Atlanta, or because looking at that shell fire, towards the Fuso, it looks like the Belfast is around the center of the map. So not in a position to radar the Bismarck. Sorry, not in a position to radar the Benson. So it's either the Benson was hydroed by the Bismarck or hydroed by the Otago, who was around that area. So I'm telling my Fuso not to die. I'm telling him to defend B, and because at this point in time we both have 2 caps, and we're just a few points behind. If I can get onto C cap before they cap B, and if I get on C cap before they cap B, like in a 10-second or 15-second window where I'm on their C cap, possibly the points will swing back into our favor. But unfortunately, the Belfast has stepped onto the B cap before me, which means that we do need to get another kill. So I'm telling the Fuso to try and scout the cruisers for me, so I can try and take a shot, reset the cap, or kill one of them, whilst I take the C cap. So even after we trade caps, they're still going to be in a lead because they had a small points lead, and they're going to have a bigger points lead for capping before me. So the Otago is spotted by the Fuso. Well, I guess the Otago shot his guns and was spotted by the Fuso, and I'm spotted by something. So I'm spotted by either the Otago or the Belfast in the gap of the island. I take a shot, 3 over pens. Not very happy with that. Otago's almost in secondary range, and I was hoping to reset the cap, but it looks like the Otago wasn't really, didn't contribute a lot of points to the cap, and unfortunately I get reset. So that means I get reset by the Belfast, who's really tucked in onto the cap, but the Otago shows broadside, and that's a Kraken. So I've done 205k damage, 5 kills, 5 citadels, 7 fires, but I killed the Otago, and I tell the Fuso to hide, because we've won. The plane spots the Belfast, and unfortunately I can't hit him, I can't kill him, I can't go forward because I need a cap. So the Fuso decides that he wants to fight the Belfast, but the Belfast smokes, and the Fuso is very, very close to the Belfast. I think it's close enough to be hydroed, or and he's just eating HE damage. IFHE Belfast just melts a Fuso. So I'm telling the Fuso to run. But unfortunately, I don't think the Fuso ever shoots his guns into the smoke. This season of the previous season of ranked, there was a lot of smoke cruisers. So people were used to, or I guess not used to, like the higher ranked players got better at shooting into smokes because it became kind of necessity. The Belfasts use radar to spot the Fuso, so I guess the Fuso is now out of hydro range. And now I need to, there's not a lot of time, there's only 30 seconds left. And we have a 50 points lead. If the Fuso dies, we lose. If the Fuso lives, we win. And there's nothing that the Belfast can do. I think the Belfast is still in a smoke, and the Fuso manages to get behind the island, but he's taking fire damage. The Fuso's plane finally spots the Belfast, but there's nothing I can really do. And that's the game. Thanks for watching.